not used light machines before, just give us a little bit of a sort of idea of your experience of what this was like.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from it. And as you know, I've been doing some meditation lately. I've been trying to do it more regularly, and I've started to see a blackness, but with some light appearing, some movement, some patterns.
You're saying you were getting sort of honeycomb phosphenes and
little zigzag flashes, and then it kind of merges together and it becomes more of a grid, like a honeycomb grid, moving slightly but not travelling as such. And it's usually mid-meditation. I do about 15 minutes in the morning, and as I'm getting towards the end of it, I can feel it intensifying, so I am trying to increase the times that
Just on that, have you noticed these happening as you're going to sleep at night as well?
Occasionally. It depends a lot. I'm quite a light sleeper, but when I do feel myself falling into a heavy sleep, I do see patterns, and as we discussed earlier, I can sometimes see it's almost like a mathematical formula which lights up. Been seeing that for a few years. So
we gave you a shot on the little Roxy demo program, which is 4 minutes.
Yes.
And then you just had a shot on the Kufu 18-minute program. So do you want to take us through?
I have to say, time just flew. It was almost as if time stopped at first, but it certainly didn't feel, the 4 minutes felt like 4 seconds.
And what was your sort of experience of that 4-minute program?
Initially, I felt almost like it was my whole being was physically moving with the lights, and it felt very intense for the first 10 to 20 seconds.
And that intensity, was that a pleasant feeling or an unpleasant feeling? Or?
To start off with, the intensity was slightly making me wonder, can I actually do more of this? But as I relaxed into it, and I could actually feel my third eye kind of activating. I could feel a buzz in my head, and as I allowed myself to roll forward with
it, relaxed into it,
I felt a lot more comfortable. The intensity stayed all the way through the first.
It's quite a visually intense program, that little 4-minute one. It's a real sort of demo, like wow for the mind.
I did feel that as I relaxed into it, I could feel a warm buzz coming up through my feet. It started off my feet initially, and it felt very pleasant, and I'm still actually feeling the effects from it. I feel very energised, and
it's almost like a sort of energy coming up through you rather than just a buzz on its own.
Yes, I feel like I could go out for a big run, and I was feeling very tired before it.
Okay, so it's really sort of woken you up and enlivened you.
It definitely has.
And the sort of visions and stuff that you mentioned a little bit about those formula that you were seeing those through that program as well.
I did in the first the 4 minute. I saw that for just a flash, but I recognised it straight away. I knew it was something that is within. Excellent. That was showing itself.
And it's the same sort of thing that you've seen before in your own meditations.
Yeah,
just more intensely.
It was definitely. It seemed to cover more area within. Where sometimes I see it just in my own mind, in my own mind's eye. Previously, I have seen it on fabrics and everywhere that looked like almost like it was a lens.
So I suppose what I'm asking here is, was this experience under the light more or less intense than how you would normally see this in your meditations?
Definitely more intense.
Definitely more. So would you say it was taking you to a deeper state within that?
It was almost as if I was led up to that point, and then I felt like it was revealing itself to me as part of my being. But it wasn't just that. There was just a minefield of vortexes and little journeys that it was taking me on.
And that was just the little 4-minute one you started with?
Yeah.
And then we did a little bit with your swan, which we'll chat about in a moment, but the second program we let you experience there was the Kufu one. And this is a new program from Lance that's off the back of sort of the Egyptian ideas he's been working with. So if you can go into a little bit of sort of detail about what that experience was like for you.
It was gentler.
Yeah.
And then there was a few minutes in, I think, I'm guessing, because like I say, time just seemed to have no relevance.
I mean, did it feel like 18 minutes?
It did not, no. It was...
If you had to guess at how long it felt for you, what would you say? Was it
5.
Okay.
And then the 4-minute one again, it just felt, like a flash.
A sort of condensed time in both the programmes then?
Definitely. And the second one, the 18-minute programme, was gentler.
Yeah.
A few minutes in, there was a part of it I felt, even though my eyes were closed, obviously, the urge to just break into I don't know if you saw, but I just broke into this
smile.
huge smile, and it was almost as if I just couldn't actually believe what I was being. I don't know if I was being shown it, or if I'm showing it to myself. I believe now that's how it works, that it's your own mind that's creating these imagery, and it was in line with the music that was playing as well. But yes, it was gentler, but with little moments that were, I would say, even more intense than the 4-minute light.
We have people that have been meditating for like numbers of years that go under these things, and they're like, this takes me somewhere that would normally take me quite a while to get to. I was working with someone the other week, and she takes about an hour of dancing or breath work to get to these places, and the light took her there instantly. So it's interesting to see someone that's maybe a little bit newer to meditation having these sort of deep experiences as well. So it's not just the conditioned mind that's done that meditation that can get to these deeper states with the light. It seems to be that everyone is able to access these sort of deeper
What
states.
struck me was just the variety of the shapes and the colours and the changeability of it. You think one bit's finished, and then it just bursts into something else.
And you mentioned a bit about sort of tunnels or vortexes or something.
Yeah,
in the second one as well.
I actually could see, because some bits were open and vast, almost like a vast landscape, but at some points it felt covered. The bit where I broke into a big smile, it was completely open, and I was just aware of the vastness of how it felt to me. I'm saying this experience because I don't know what landscape I was in, but it's something that I've never experienced before, and it was quite something.
I suppose all we can really say is it's a mental landscape of some kind, whether it's within or out with us, or real or imagined. It's
there was no bound.
Yeah.
It was just I was completely aware of everything, and then other parts were more siloed and more centred a lot travelling forwards, going through a tunnel.
And was there kinesthetic feelings alongside that, or was it just purely visual?
A lot of it was grid-like, and some of it was intertwined with a sacred geometry. But again, it wasn't still at any point. It was just constantly moving, changing, morphing.
And did it feel like your actual body was moving with it as
well?
I
did.
Or, yeah.
It's parts of it. The part where it burst open into the vastness. My body just completely felt like it wasn't there. Yeah.
So you lost the body and went
completely. I think that's what happened, and like I said, it just made me smile really big. It felt really nice.
And I don't know if you've ever sort of experienced what we would term as being out of your body, but in that period of losing your body, would you say that was something that was an out-of-body experience or an other-where experience?
I would definitely say that I was purported to somewhere very special, whether it was within me or externally.
You. But there's definitely that separation from the physical body.
I don't think I've been able to be as consciously aware whilst in that space.
And that seems to be a really sort of interesting part of this. Is this, with meditation, we're trying to train the awareness to be able to access deeper states of consciousness and remain aware. And this seems to be something that's coming through time and again with people that experience these light machines, is that, it allows our brain to get to that place much more easily. So yeah, that's wonderful to hear your experience there. Finally, just to touch on the swan a little bit, because that was the first experience you've had
absolutely
of working with the swan. So this is a technique of being able to open a dialogue with other parts of you through what we would class as non-volitional movement, where those parts are moving the physical body, and we use the the hand, and it comes in the shape of a swan, so we call it the swan. It's from Bob Burns, wonderful hypnotist. How does it feel to open up that dialogue with your own unconscious?
I didn't know that was possible, and you know me.
You were laughing quite a lot when we first started. It was like
it was just quite surreal. I was worried that I was doing it, but I knew that I wasn't. And the more we sat, and the numbness that comes over the hand, you can really start to feel how something else is actually controlling the movements in your own hand. Yeah. And it sounds quite unbelievable, but having experienced it now. And
we sort of went to try and get sort of the Swan Speaks with Idiom or voice, and it looked to me like we almost had that. What did that feel like for you to almost have the Swan speaking through you?
Yes, you could feel a sensation where the voice box, there was definitely a sensation in that area, and it was almost like a pressure moving upwards.
But it just didn't quite get to that full voice.
I don't know if it was me that was blocking that. I don't know. I'm going to practice the technique and try and coax that.
We'll have a chat with it next time you're around as well, and see if we can coax that out.
Yeah, I'll try and keep up the practice.
Yeah, well, you've made an agreement with that part of you to do that, so
I have.
You better do that.
I will do that.
Anyway, thank you very much for taking the time
Thank
today.
you.
And
much appreciated.
we appreciate that.
A very good experience.